German. Today I will give you a little insight into the word ear, which is a word many German learners struggle with. And it will become very obvious in the next few minutes why this is so. And I just invite you to lean back and really take this in, yeah, relaxedly. There's not much you have to learn at this stage, just to see what the problem is. And I will give you a wonderful shortcut to deal with at least half of the issues very easily, and later on you can then rewatch this video and occupy yourself with this topic a little bit more in more detail. So for now, just lean back and enjoy. The problem is that there is not only one ear, there is actually four of a kind. The first one is a personal pronoun nominative. When it comes to these grammar terms, just relax, it's not important. What is important will be explained to you in the next few minutes. For example, the word pronoun, what's the difference between a pronoun and an article. Personal doesn't provide any information that we should care about, and nominative is one of four German cases, which I explain neatly in another live class, which you can see, can preview for free on my online course page. Take a look there. Okay. One example what that is ihr seid nett, you guys are nice. So it is used when you address two people that you're familiar with. The second kind of ihr is also a personal pronoun, but in a different case, the dative. Ich spreche mit ihr, I'll speak with her. So you see here, ihr is translated with her, which is a completely different person, different thing than before. Third one is a possessive pronoun, still a pronoun, which I explain in a minute, and it is related to possession, to possess something. So ich sehe ihre, I see hers. Don't worry about this, I'll say something to this. And there is of course a form with a capital I, which, as you can see, is used for addressing someone that you're not familiar with, formal conversation. And it could be for one sir or two sirs, one madam, two madams. So it's also used for one or several people even. And number 4 is a possessive article, and again also for one or several people or items. Ich sehe ihre Katze, I see her or their cat. So it can have two different meanings here, which can only be identified by the context that's given, which is lacking here. And we have again a capitalized ihre if you speak to someone directly or more than one person directly and you're formal with them. So this is the reason why ear is confusing, because you see it in so many places and it has so many different translations and also functions. Let's take a look at the functions. The words pronouns and articles describe functions. So let's take a look at what they mean. Let's start with pronouns. Pronouns contains, the word pronoun contains the word noun. A noun is a fancy way to say name. It's a name for a thing or an idea, for example, like the car, the liberty, and so on. Even the Peter that I know. So any word that you could put a the in front of in English is a noun. Whether you in the end do that, it's a different matter, but as soon as you could say the car, the idea, the temperature, the sweat, the beautiful, in that moment you turn a word into a noun. And in German, nouns are always capitalized, as you can see here. So whenever you see a capitalized word, it is a noun. Or it is the very first word in a sentence, like in English. Those are always capitalized, so that is always a bit tricky. But if there's a capitalized word on any other position than the first, you can be 100% sure this is a noun. The prefix pro here means instead. So a pronoun is something that is instead of a noun. Let's take a look at an example. You could avoid pronouns, but that would make text and books and letters almost unreadable. It would sound like this. Peter isst gerne Pizza, Peter macht viel Sport, Peter kommt aus Deutschland, Peter ist 25 Jahre alt. You wouldn't be reading this book for long, I'm pretty sure. So what a genius at one point has invented is, okay, let's not use Peter, let's take a placeholder for that, which makes this a lot more enjoyable. Peter isst gerne Pizza, macht viel Sport. Now, because Peter is a masculine person or masculine noun, we have to replace it with a specific pronoun, which is in this case. I just give you an example. We will return to the ihr, IHR, in a moment. So here is used instead of the noun Peter. This is why is a pronoun. That also works for things like an oven. Mein Ofen ist kaputt. Mein Ofen funktioniert nicht. And we can also replace Ofen with because Ofen is a masculine noun. And you see, can even replace Ofen and the article mein in front of it. Yeah, so it is a really useful tool. Is used instead of the noun Ofen. Now, articles on the other side are companions. That means you never use them alone. They always need a partner. For example, you could never say ich liebe mein, I love my. My what? Steig in das, something is missing. Yeah? If you stop after an article, something is missing, so it's impossible. An article always needs a noun that follows. And lucky for us, there's 6 different kinds of articles in German as well as in English. In English it doesn't really matter, but in German that has consequences. And I just give you an overview of this. Don't worry about these. I cover them in my everyday German online course step by step. You will become very familiar with them step by step. And as you can see, a, my, not a, the, this, and which are the translations of these articles. All of these can go with a noun. For example, a car, my car. That's not a car. The car, this car, which car. So all of these can come with a noun, and actually very often, if they are used as an article, they have to come with a noun. Yeah, some of them can be used as a pronoun as well. So the good news, even better news, is that all these 6 different kinds of articles can have up to 6 different endings each. You can see what a mess that actually is, right? If you try to tackle this all at once, you're just gonna end up confused and hating the German language, or at least the grammar. That's why I introduced these step by step, very logically and very clearly explained in my online course. Yeah, make sure to check out the first lesson to get an idea of the power of good teaching. So here you see 6 possible endings. All of these, or most of these actually, can be put at the end of any of those that you see on the left side. So let's take a look at the ears. All 4 kinds, and how to use them efficiently. First one was personal pronouns in the nominative. Remember, pronouns are loners. They never come with a noun. They're always on their own. And personal pronouns, that's the only time you really need to really focus on the word personal. They never get an ending. To give you an idea, if you say ihr seid nett, you guys are nice, the ihr would never get an ending. You would never say ihre, ihren, ihrem, ihres, never. If it refers to a person or a thing, it doesn't get an ending. And if there is no noun following. Yeah, so if they are pronouns. Kommt ihr auf die Party? Here again, no ending. And you see ihr could be you guys or you girls. Also a question, wer seid ihr? Who are you? 2 or 3. And to make sure you remember, or you know that this is the kind of ihr that doesn't get an ending, you can replace it with ich. You can try to replace it with ich. If you can replace it with ich, the ihr doesn't get an ending. Let's try this. Ich bin nett, I am nice. So it's a, yeah, you can say that. That's a very proper German sentence. So if you can say ich bin nett and you want to say you guys are nice, all you have to do is to put the ihr there, no ending required. Very simple. Komme ich auf die Party? You wonder whether you will come to the party. Wer bin ich? Who am I? So this is all doable, and that's why you could easily just use the ear without an ending. Don't worry about this little shortcut. I will give you an even simpler approach to this, but this is already quite helpful. The second kind was also a personal pronoun, but in the dative. Ich spreche mit ihr. I would speak with her. You see, it's a pronoun. There's no noun following the ear, and it doesn't have an ending, as we have mentioned in the beginning. Hab vor ihr keine Angst. Don't be afraid of her. Wohnt bei ihr. He's living at her place. I've put an asterisk after place just to make you aware that in English you have a noun following, but that's due to the very specific nature of talking about someone's place. In German we are very efficient here. If you say bei ihr, that implies that she lives at a place. In English you have to mention that for whatever reason. So here we have a different case, the dative. So we cannot use the ich trick anymore, because after mit, for, and bei you can never have ich. That's impossible. But you can have the dative version of ich, which is mir. Replaceable with mir. Careful, it doesn't work necessarily with the English version. So let's take a look at this. Can I say ich spreche mit mir? I speak with myself. Very good. It's doable. So you could just replace the mir with ihr without any ending. Hab vor mir keine Angst, don't be afraid of me. Wohnt bei mir, he's living at my place. So the mir is usable in all three cases, which means the ear would never get an ending in that case. You have to be careful. There's one more thing. So translations, I speak with you, sir. The you might be tempted to use ear for this, but that's not doable, because in this case you have to use ihnen. And you might remember that from the initial phrase you learn, how are you, sir? Wie geht es Ihnen? That is a little hook, which is also dative due to other reasons. So keep that in mind. Now, the next slide, I really want you to just lean back, look at it and say, Gott sei gedankt, thanks God, I don't have to learn this, because that is completely irrelevant for B1. And after B1 you will pick it up easily. Now take a look. Remember, pronouns are loners, and possessive pronouns, they always have article endings. So what does that look like? Careful, this is not yet a possessive pronoun, this is an article, because it's followed by Auto. Siehst du ihr Auto? Are you seeing her car? But now, when we replace ihr Auto with a pronoun, we have ich sehe nicht ihrs, sondern deins. I'm not seeing hers, but yours. And you see the similarity. In this case, we put an S at the end of the ear, like in English. But in German, we are a bit more precise, which you will see in a minute. As soon as you have a feminine example, you see the ear gets an E. And the ending of the ear here is the same as the D article that Katze originally comes with. And the same, of course, is valid for masculine nouns. And you see here we have ihren or den Hund, because we deal with an accusative. So the ear takes the en ending, like the den. So, and we have a plural for this. Siehst du ihre Kinder? You see ihre Kinder. Ihre here is an article, but if we replace it with a pronoun, it has the same ending as the article. You can ignore this. I just wanted to show this to you. This is also the most complex of the four. Luckily, we can really just move on. Last but not least, or almost last, possessive articles. Lowercase. So you remember there's lowercase ears and uppercase ears. The uppercase ones are for formal interactions, but basically they work the same. So ihr Auto. You see ihr is followed by Auto, like in English, her car. So her and ihr are articles, because they are not alone. And they indicate a possession. Someone owns something or possesses something. And you see ear gets an ending depending on what gender the word is that follows. Yeah, so Katze is feminine, Hund is masculine, so ear has to get the ending for that appropriate gender and case. This is basically dealing with der, das, die, or ein, mein, dein, which I explain in another lesson in my online course, and is not the topic here. Just that you're aware that in this case you really need to know your articles and to know how to change them according to the case and function. Okay, there is a little trick. So you can try to replace an article with mine. Mine is another article. So if mine works for you, and if you know what ending mine gets, it's very easy because you can simply add the same ending to the ear then. Let's take a look. Ich sehe mein Auto works fine. I see my car, and you see mine has the same ending as ear, none. That's because of the neuter article. Meine Katze, same ending as ihre Katze. Meinen Hund, same ending as ihren Hund. So mine we are much more familiar with because we see it more often. We talk more often about our stuff than your guys' stuff. Yeah, so replacing it with mine might give you a good indication on which ending to use and whether you use the right kind of ear. Now, just the same with capitalized ear. The translation varies, but that's it. And it could also be used with sirs and madams. I haven't added this yet, but I will do it so later. And the endings are the same, whether it's capitalized or not. So once you know your endings and your cases and your genders, you'll be fine with this. But as I said, that's a topic that requires a bit more time and another live class, which I have already done in my Everyday German online course. Take a look at that. This is of course also replaceable with mine, so basically nothing new here. I've skipped the plural, it works the same, and it's not the topic here. Now let's take a look at how we can actually crack this complex matter into something that really quickly is applicable. Basically, you have to ask yourself one question, and that is, does the ear stand in front of a noun? If so, it works like mine. So you can replace it with mine and therefore possibly have, it's easier for you to figure out what ending needs to be applied. You add the standard article ending. If there is no noun following the ear, just put an ear there. Whether it's capitalized or lowercase, that's something that you will pick up intuitively as you go. Just put the ear there. The important thing is it does never get an ending. And of course, let's test that. I'll give you a couple of sentences. You think out loud or you try to follow the steps. For example here. So the first question, remember, is there a noun following the ear? The ear here always being the gap. And yes, there is Auto. Are you seeing her car? So do you remember what it was? So if there's a noun following, what do? We can use the mine approach. And the question is, what ending does mine get? It's a neuter noun, so mine doesn't get an ending, which is why we can simply put ear here with no ending. Yeah. Let's take a look at the next one. Katze. Are you seeing her cat? So, is there a noun following the gap? Yes, Katze is a noun. It's capitalized. And in English you can say the cat. So we can use mine. So how would you say, are you seeing my cat? Siehst du meine Katze? Now, if you wanted to say, are you seeing her cat? How would you do that? Ihre Katze, same ending as meine. By the way, siehst du ihre Katze could also mean, are you seeing their cat? Yeah. I will upload this presentation with this video or give you a download link to this presentation, and I will add this to the presentation. For now, live with this. Yeah, it's also not that important. Next one. Ich spreche mit. So after the gap, which is one form of ear, there is no noun following. I'll speak with her. If there's no noun following, remember what we do, what strategy we apply? We simply put an ear there, no ending. As we are not speaking directly to a person we are formal with, we have a her situation, so the ear is lowercase. Next example, number 4. Where are you, girls or boys? There is no noun following the gap, so what do? Put the ear there, very easy. So we are not formal with the girls, so it's still a lowercase ear. Wohnt bei? Again, after the gap, the ear, there is no noun, so what do? The same as we did in 3 and 4. Just put the ear there. Number 6. Hast du Hund gesehen? Have you seen her dog? Or their dog? Well, we have a noun following the gap, the ear, so we can apply the mind strategy. So how would you say, have you seen my dog? Hast du meinen Hund gesehen? It's meinen Hund because Hund is masculine, and if you see something, it is accusative always. So if you say meinen Hund, how would you say, have you seen her dog or their dog? Ihren, same ending. Seid nett, is there a noun following the gap? Yeah, see, the ambulance is coming. No, nett is written with a lowercase n, and therefore it cannot be a noun. German nouns are always capitalized. So we have a no situation, which means we simply copy the ear here. Remember, in that case, it means, are you guys, you 2 people, you 3 people, nice? And you're familiar with them. Last but not least, ist das Hund? So we have a noun following, so we have a mine situation. So how would you say, is that my dog? Mein Hund. And you see here we want the formal version because we use sir. So what form of ear do we put here? The one with a capitalized I. I'm sorry it's not capitalized here, but I will capitalize it in the final version. I thought I did this yesterday, but somehow that got lost. So the question you might have is, okay, why do I say mein Hund here while in number 6 it's meinen Hund? The answer to that question is again something that is explained in the live class about the German cases. But in number 6 you have the verb gesehen, which always requires the accusative. And the accusative here is meinen Hund. While in number 8 the only verb you have is to be, ist, which always comes with the nominative. And is one of very few verbs that actually require the nominative. So I hope this test was quite easy. Let's take a couple of minutes to take this in and to go through the presentation one more time and apply it. Whenever you see an ear now, ask yourself, is there a noun following or not? And try to figure out when they have an ending and when not. Yeah, because that is the main issue with the ears. If you like this lesson, I'd be very thankful for any support you can give to me. You can preview my main approach and a lot of techniques that I've developed over the last 10 years or more in my everyday online course, Everyday German online course, which you find under this URL. If you enter the coupon live class, you get a 10% discount on the single payment option. We also have payment plans, which allows you to pay the full fee in 6 to 12 installments. It's not a subscription, it ends at one point once you've filled the full fee, paid the full fee. And if you want to support us and you like this lesson or like our materials and have something good to say, speak from the heart, say what you like, what you've experienced, and share it in a review on Facebook or Google. Just search for Smarter German. Smarter German aims at making the German learning experience something that is rewarding and helping you becoming a more confident and satisfied person. Okay, thank you for your time and your attention. See you soon in another live class, and make sure to check out our Everyday German online course. Take good care. Pass auf dich auf.